So I am going to start recording. So Michelle, just handle the chat box if you don't mind. So welcome to the MathMinds project meeting, Why Math Matters. I'm super happy to have almost 20 of you here at the meeting today. That's a great start to the beginning of the semester. We only started communicating or promoting our spring meetings about a week ago. So it's really great that we already had 60 of you guys register for our spring Zoom room. And I was hoping to have about 20 show up to today's meeting, and we're like 1 or 2 shy of that. So hopefully we'll reach that by the time we stop today. So my name, as I mentioned, is Ken Globerman, and let me just do a brief introduction because some of you know me, some of you may not know me. So I'm from New York. I went to high school, by the way, across the street from Brooklyn College at Midwood High School. So I feel connected into Brooklyn College in multiple ways. My mom actually was a graduate of Brooklyn College a long time ago. She got her bachelor's degree there. I am more of someone who works in the private sector than an academic. Over the course of my career, I've spent 2 decades in various roles, starting in media advertising, where I sort of rose up the ranks to a group supervisor level for a research group in a media firm. From that, I actually went back to grad school and did my MBA in finance and management. And coming off of that experience, started working in a relatively small private equity firm. So that was a wonderful experience here in New York, where by the end, I was in various senior management roles, managing our portfolio companies and working with the management board of 4 of our portfolio companies very directly. I've always had a bit of an entrepreneur kind of side to me. And in fact, I made what might be seen as a very strange decision. After 7 years of private equity, I decided I wanted to leave New York for a while and just kind of change it up. So what did I do? I picked up and I moved to Poland. Now, I'm sure right now some of you are saying, Poland? Why would he go to Poland? Well, I don't want to take up 20 minutes on that topic today, but it was a wonderful experience. And maybe sometime over the course of the semester, I'm sure I'll be bringing up Poland and we'll get more into it. But in Poland, I had a wonderful chance to kind of explore my entrepreneurial side. Well, first of all, I started doing a lot of corporate training, and I created various training programs for tech entrepreneurs in Poland, working with accelerators and also doing some of my own work independently. And that's where I also got into the world of teaching at the university level, having taught different classes at the Warsaw School of Economics, in entrepreneurship, as well as different topics in finance. Also in Poland, I started something called No Brainer, which is now Brooklyn No Brainer. And basically what I did in Poland was work independently with many, many students who were about to graduate from undergrad, who wanted to continue and do a master's degree in something related to business and needed to take the GMAT exam, and got a chance to put together different review classes for folks, and actually ran my own classes in GMAT. Finally, I started a not-for-profit in Poland called Startline Foundation. If you're interested in seeing what Startline Foundation is, just look it up on your phone, startlinefoundation.org. You'll be able to read more about it, and that continues to this day, where I continue in the role of chairman. Came back to New York with my wife, who's Polish, about 2.5 years ago, and I was fortunate enough to have an opportunity to teach on the faculty at Brooklyn College. And for about 2 years, I taught a variety of classes in Copeland Business School, ranging from operations management to entrepreneurship. I also taught organizational behavior and marketing, 3100. So that was a wonderful time. And I think I had about 500 students over the course of 4 semesters, and it was great. And that brings us to today. And we'll get into what the project is, and I'll connect sort of my time at Brooklyn College with this as we move forward in the meeting today. So here we are, and I started the MathMinds project about 6 months ago or so, and we'll talk about what the MathMinds project is very shortly. But I want to start you with a story. I want to talk about someone named Sandra. So Sandra was a 7-year-old at one point who loved reading, and that probably a lot of you can relate to that. But she also liked math, right? She didn't only like reading, but she liked math. But she was told she's not a math person. That was the message that she received by a number of different people. Over time, what happened? She started feeling discouraged. And by 14, Sandra lost her confidence and motivation in math, leading to poor math results in high school. At 18, Sandra is now dealing with math anxiety, and she's convinced that math is just not her thing. So what happens? Sandra enters college and the workforce with a high school diploma, but lacking, and then ultimately a college degree, but in reality, lacking fundamental math skills. Now, Sandra's not a real person. Sandra is just a fictional character, just to make a point. And I bet you that some of you on this call, whether female or male, can relate to Sandra. Because in fact, when you dig into what's been going on in the United States for quite a while now, there seems to be a math problem that is larger than Sandra. Just Google, or whatever your favorite search engine is, just type in things like US bad at math, or anything along those lines, numerical literacy, and you will find loads of blogs, articles, and research papers all on the topic of how many students are actually struggling, and adults, excuse me, students and adults are struggling with math, or more generally or more broadly, what I like to call numerical literacy. Okay, we think of literacy as your ability to read. Some people talk about literacy or numerical literacy, which is just basically your ability to work with numbers, right? And let me share with you just a couple of research points to kind of make my point, since this is college and we like to do research and find facts that back up our hypothesis, right? So let me ask you guys, out of 79 ranked countries in the world, where would you guess? Now, if you were in my meeting, in this meeting last year, please don't guess if you know this already. Otherwise, for the rest of you, take a guess where you think the US ranks in the world from 1 to 79. That's a lot of countries, by the way. Put it in the chat box. Let's see what you guys think. Just take a shot. And I'll go over there in the chat box and see what you guys are saying. Wow, we've got a broad, we've got a huge variance here, ranging from 10 to 70. Mark is very, very pessimistic, or at least you're thinking you're taking the lead from me, Mark. Oh, hey, Zach. Zach's here. Great. 58. Okay, so we've got guesses from 10 to 70. Well, the reality is that number is 36. 36. But come on. I grew up believing that we have, the best education in the world, right? That's always what I believed. And we do have a great education system, but there may be some room for improvement when it comes to numerical literacy. So we rank 36 out of 79. And if you're interested in where that comes from, there is a study, PISA, a PISA report. And in fact, they'll be doing another one in 2021 and re-ranking again this year. But in the last few of these PISA reports over the last decade or so, the US is very average when it comes to math scores. And by the way, this is testing middle schoolers. This is actually testing, I think it's 5th graders, not middle schoolers. That's fact one. Fact two, 78% of US adults cannot explain how to calculate interest paid on a loan. That's an eye-opening number, okay? Didn't make that up. That one comes from the National Center for Educational Statistics. And finally, how about this? This will be something you guys can relate to as college students. 25% of US college students experience moderate to high math anxiety. Okay. And I bet you some of you on this call can relate to that directly. Okay. And that comes from a research study done by some folks at the University of Chicago just a few years ago. So look, folks, hopefully this is starting to provide some factual evidence that there's a math issue that a lot of you can probably relate to. Now check this one out. There's another study called the PIAAC study. This actually checks adult math literacy, okay? And in an exam done, almost a decade ago, this is a very busy slide. I'll just tell you the takeaway. The fact is, our high school grads perform the same as other countries' high school dropouts. Now let that sink in. High school graduates in the United States perform about the same, on par with people in other countries that have not received a high school diploma. Okay. Now let me show you what kind of questions this PIAAC skills test have. Of course, our Brooklyn College students are not average students, so I would expect that this would be something that you guys could slam dunk. I want you to take a read to this exercise just to kind of give you a sense of what types of exercises this exam takes. Just read the question, please, to yourself. And feel free to answer it, actually. You can put your answer in the chat box. So I won't wait, won't wait too long for this question. This is just to give you a sample, and you can see this is not math just for the sake of math. This is really testing one's ability to visualize data and understand what she or he is being asked and answer the question, right? So graphical interpretation is a very, very important part of being comfortable and being numerically literate, okay? So let's see what kind of answers we have in the chat box. All right, so, well, we've got some different answers. Amir guessed 77 to 87, but did y'all read the question? Amir, read the question on the left side. During which periods was there a decline in the number of births? Amir, it looks like I'm just looking at your answer, not to pick on you, but you chose the biggest incline between 77 and 87, right? So you see, one of the big problems with data visualization is actually having a firm understanding as to the question we're being asked. Our eyes draw itself towards whatever it draws itself to. And what our eyes are drawn to is not, and I'll even say is often not, what we're being asked to solve. Okay, this question is asking for when there was a drop in births. And if we study the line graph, we see there's a drop in births in the first from 57 to 67, and again from 67 to 77. And after that, births are on the rise. Okay, makes sense? So that's just an example of what you would see on this PIAAC exam. All right, just moving on. Look, hopefully in just the last 5 minutes, I've provided you with enough evidence that we have a math problem across the United States. Now, I don't want to we're surely not going to leave today with some somber news like that, right? We're going to actually hopefully end it in an uplifting way. But let's now pivot to why you should care. Okay, so hey, someone might say to me, I have my iPhone, right? I have my scientific calculator. You know, what do I need to know with this math stuff for? I can get someone else to read the graph for me, right? So if any of you feel that way, I'm specifically talking to you as I go through the next few slides here. All right. Math matters for all underlined of us. Okay. And it's very important that you understand that the three dimensions that we talk about here with the MathMinds project, only one of them is academic. Okay. You all may be college students right now, but your college career is going to end, hopefully, with a degree pretty soon, right? We all hope that happens. I'm sure it will for the super majority of you. But having, like myself, gone to college and then joined the workforce and had different types of jobs, I can tell you firsthand how much math matters in the professional world. And we'll talk a little bit about that during the course of our meetings this semester. Okay. And finally, if you're kind of paying attention to what you do on a day-to-day basis, you might have come to the realization that math also matters in your personal life, right? So we'll talk a little bit about that as well today and also in our subsequent meetings. Just a slide on each of these three, if I may. The easy one is the academic case. You're all students. I assume most of you are Kopelman students, if not all of you. And Mila is at Baruch, so she's probably a business major also. So we see math all over the place in our courses. Not every course, but in many courses, right? Let me just give you two examples. So the first one here, if you're taking 3400, right, the data and statistics class in the business management department, or if you're taking 3430, the operations management class in the business management department of Brooklyn College, you're going to run into a formula like this, right? So your professor might talk about the least squares method, right? Which is a trend line estimation and a technique that we use to determine the best fit of data. Okay, I won't go into more than that. Doesn't matter for this meeting. So your ability to interpret that formula and other formulas like it is wholly dependent on your ability to be comfortable with numbers, to be more math and numerical literate, okay? And I can't tell you how many of my students struggled when faced with a formula like this. Froze up, didn't know what that large, weird shape is that looks like a backwards E, for example. What does that mean? What does that tell me? How do I interpret that, right? Or what is that line above the X and the XY and so on and so forth? Or, so math becomes intimidating to even smart people who just don't have the literacy and the comfort level. Second example, you're a finance major. One of the big things we do in corporate finance is learn how to do Npv analysis, right? Okay, one of the first things you learn in corporate finance. Your ability to look at this formula and even recreate it because you're so familiar with it. Not that you memorized it, not that you memorized the letters or wrote it down because your professor gave you the opportunity to have a cheat sheet on an exam, but that you really understand what's going on. Why that divisor is 1 plus r raised to the I power or t power. Actually, yeah. Okay. I mean, so understanding what's behind there in principle is such an important part of being comfortable with that formula and any formula like it, okay? So the professional case, let me give you some facts. Forbes magazine ranked data literacy #1, the #1 most important job skill in 2021. #1 most important job skill. Okay. I understand I'm going to just pause for a second and open up the chat box. I understand there may be a question there that I missed. My apologies. Lily asked, when it says drop, does it mean when it started to decline or the whole declining point? Okay, good question. I can tell you that making inferences, especially in a data visualization problem, is such an important part. And sometimes the questions can be misleading. Other times it's not about it being misleading, but you have to make the rational inference. Okay. Now I don't have, I already passed the slide, Lily. So I don't have the exact wording memorized, but drop would mean where did it go down, right? It was providing data in 10-year buckets and the line was going up and down. So where it dropped would infer, the inference there is that it's either dropping or increasing between every one of those 10-year data points. So it was not an overall drop. It was talking about the inferences where there were drops between like 57 and 67 or 67 and 77 and so on and so forth. Okay, I hope that helps. Happy to kind of go back to it afterward. If you're still confused, you can watch the recording actually and have a look at it again. Okay, or if we have time at the end, I'll be happy to go back to it. Okay. The answer was the first two periods, 57 to 67, it dropped there, and 67 to 77, it dropped again. After that, it was going up. Okay. I'll tell you, okay, great. Just moving on. Second, the US Bureau of Labor Statistics predicts 27% growth between 2019 and 2029 in occupations requiring mathematics. Third, studies show that students who completed more advanced levels of math earned higher incomes. Need I say more about the professional case for why math matters? Hopefully not. And then finally, the personal case, because math really revolves around our life in more ways than we sometimes recall on a day-to-day basis. These are just some examples of where math or numbers comes into play, whether it's managing your debt, going to the grocery store, right? You're shopping. Should you buy 5 lemons for $2 or should you buy the lemons that are 75 cents each, right? You have a choice. Doing your taxes, planning for retirement, evaluating large purchases. It could be a mobile phone plan. It could be paying for college, right? That's a large purchase, right? Evaluating credit offers. How many of those, I don't know if, as you guys as students, I'm not sure how many credit offers you're getting, but I get credit card offers in the mail more than I really care to, frankly, right? And being able to evaluate one credit offer from another one, right? Family budgeting, making sure our financial management for the family is going well, right? And then personal investment. That could be, you're using a website, or maybe you're investing in Bitcoin, or, because you enjoy, gambling, even though if you gambled on Bitcoin in the last 3 to 6 months, you're doing real well right now. Maybe you were intrigued by the GameStop story or GameStop story over the last month, which is pretty wild, right? So there's all kinds of ways where math plays a role in our personal life. Now, on the next 2 slides, we present to you 2 fun examples that are made up by me, but any of you who go to restaurants with friends or take a road trip in a car can relate to these. So grab a piece of paper and a pen, because we're going to do a couple of math problems right now. This is, of course, the MathMinds project. Okay, so grab something And Lin King, I'm going to ask you to take the lead, just be prepared to possibly explain solutions here. Of course, we'll see if anybody else wants to jump in. That's great too. Okay. So the first question: you've gone to dinner with 3 of your friends. There's 4 of you. Now comes that splitting of the bill. The total bill was $180. One friend suggests, hey, let's just evenly split everything. But it doesn't seem fair. At the same time, no one wants to spend the time to itemize each item on the bill. So check this out. You're wondering if there's a way to fairly but quickly allocate the costs. You know that friend 1 ate about the same amount as you, friend 2 ate about double what you ate, and friend 3 only ate half the amount of what you ate. Can you quickly come up with a fair allocation of the bill? Now, read it to yourself if you didn't catch it, and I'll give you a couple of minutes to try to work something out here. And feel free to put your answer in the chat box. So you have friend 1, 2, and 3, and then you as an individual. There are 4 people. Go ahead and give it a try. Now, if you really want to work through this, do not look in the chat box. Do not look at the answers people are providing right now, and focus it on yourself. I want to give everyone a chance. But don't look in the chat box, but good job on the first few people here. Great work, Sergey, Yanmin, and Amir. Great work. Yaroslav, thank you. By the way, I don't know if you meant to DM me, but you can, that's fine. But if you want to message the whole chat, just switch who you're writing to, just FYI. But thank you for that anecdote. Thank you, Mila. All right. Just a few more seconds. Stephen, nice job. All right. That's great. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. First 5 of you. Let's give it another few seconds. Teresa. Excellent. The order is a little different. I'm not sure if 80 is friend 1. I guess 80 should not be friend 1, but you have the right numbers. Lin King, would you like to explain? I can, if you like, I can share a whiteboard, or how would you?
Yeah. I got you. So I can write directly.
Oh,
I can try. Yeah. I can write diary. Can you go back to the present?
Oh, yep. Do you see it? Wait. Hang on. I may have unshared it by accident. Give me a second. All right. You're saying you can write on the screen?
Yeah.
Go right ahead.
So if I said like what I ate is X, give me a sec. Is X. That's my way to doing it. Okay.
Sure. Go ahead.
So your other friend is same as you, so it's pressing X. And then friend 2 ate about double you ate, so it's press 2X. So friend 3 is half of yours, so it's 0.5X. So all of them total together is 180. Then you add the x together is 4.5x equal to 180. Then
Awesome.
x equal to 40. As those checks say. So you are paying 40, and then your friend one is same as you, so he's paying $40. Friend two is double, is 80, and then friend three is 20.
Excellent. Very nice explanation. Very nice explanation,
you.
Lin King. Thank you. All right. So there you go. So Lin King and many of you basically used some fundamental algebra. And when you really understand how to do things this way, you will develop the ability to be able to literally, possibly in your head, go through this math and then shock your friends when you can divide the bill fairly without even using your iPhone to add the numbers up. Okay. And that's a great example of developing your math mind. Okay. So excellent. Let's now move on to another situation. This would be the road trip situation. So the road trip situation, very typical, right?
Excuse me?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I know that 45 would be if they split it all equally, but from her equation, how did she get 45? You know, if
Oh,
you're explaining that to somebody.
so what Lin King did was use a variable X. She used a variable because and in this case, X, she set X equal to the amount that you ate, right? We don't know what it is, but she set X equal to the amount that you yourself ate. And then from that, she was able to get the relative value of the other friends, right? So for example, if you ate a value of X and someone else ate twice as much as you, they eat 2x. If someone else eats half of what you ate, they eat 0.5x. So what Lin King, go ahead.
That part I understood. It was just how she got the 45.
Oh, okay. So then what she did was she ended up with x plus 2x plus 0.5x equal the total. She added, she added up and combined the x's together, right? She combined like terms and she ended up with 4.5x equals to 180. Was that right? Was it 4.5x equals to 180, Lin King?
Yeah,
Oh.
it is 4.5.
Here we go. And now she didn't show it to you here, but she divided both sides by 4.5. So she ended up doing 180 divided by 4.5, and that gave you 40. And once you know your value is 40, you can solve for all the other people's values, right?
Thank you. I get it now. Thank you.
Get it now? All right.
Yes.
Super. And by the way, let me show you guys a cool trick when it comes to solving 4.5x equals 180. Because no one likes to work with decimals, especially when you don't have a calculator handy. So you know what I do here? I try to get rid of the decimal. So I know one way, an easy way, is just to scale everything up by 10. So I could, in my mind, multiply left and right side by 10, and I end up with, oh, sorry, not by 10. Let's by 2. Let's do it by 2 because 4.5 times 2 is 9. And you end up with 9x equals 360. And if you know your sort of times tables pretty well, you know that 9 goes into 36 4 times. Okay? And leaving you with x equals 40. All right, let me see if there's any other comments in the chat box. I see. Amir is showing how it's done. Super. Okay, great. That was great. Let's move on. We got one more. Okay. Thank you, Lin King, that's great. So now you have a road trip, right? You're going on a road trip. You're about to embark on a road trip with a friend, but you have no gas in the tank. And to make matters worse, you only have $28 cash between the two of you and no credit cards, okay? and no debit cards, no plastic. You're trying to figure out if you have enough money to buy the gas you need to get to your destination. There's no gas stations along the way, so you better estimate well. The gas costs $2.50 a gallon, and your car gets about 25 miles per gallon, and the trip will be about 300 miles. Do you have enough money? And how many miles can you drive on $28? Give it a try. So we've got a bunch of answers now. Looks like folks are suggesting that they can only drive 280 miles. And unless you want to walk the last 20 miles, you probably want to think twice about going on this trip. At least that's what you all think. Of course, I don't have the answer memorized, but does anyone want to explain? Maybe someone else wants to jump in and will and explain. Someone else on the call want to jump in and talk about how you did this? Who wants to give it a try? Have any volunteers? Don't be shy. Don't worry. No one's going to judge you. And it's very valuable to explain things to others. Who's this?
I'm not sure if I did it right, but can I try?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so I did 300
Okay.
divided by 25 because I wanted to first see how much I needed, and I got 12. And
Okay.
then so that means for 12, I multiplied it by 250, and then we don't have enough money.
Okay. So, and who's this talking? Sorry.
Lily.
Lily. Okay, Lily. Awesome. So you first figured out that you need 12 gallons.
Right.
Okay. And then, and say again what you did after that, please.
After I figured out we needed 12, then I multiplied the 250 per gallon by 12
Okay.
to see if I had enough
And
money.
how much did you get?
And I got 30.
30.
And we have only 28.
There
so
we
we
go.
don't have enough.
There we go. Exactly.
A different way.
Go ahead. Who's this?
This is Yaroslav.
Yaroslav. Go ahead.
So I did 28 divided by 2.5, basically the $28 cash that they had and the 2.5 per gallon. And I got 11.2. So that means that's how many gallons they could have got with the money that they had. and then I multiplied that by 25, and I only got 280, which is not enough for the trip of 300 miles.
Nice. See that? That's great. So we just got two different ways to go about solving the same problem, right? Using the same numbers, but just kind of approaching it left to right and then right or right to left, as I like to say. Not literally, but just terminology I use, okay? So they both got to the answer by kind of thinking about it from step one in a way that worked for them. So Lily started with how much gas she needed and saw how much that would cost. And Yaroslav found out how much gas he can buy and then figured out how many miles that would give him. Okay? Different ways to look at it, but both are perfectly correct solutions. All right? And the more you work on problems like this, the more creative you can get with your problem solving techniques, right? Because this is, and I want to make the point here, this is not just like, let me memorize this, okay, pick one of these methods and let me memorize, and then let me use my iPhone and just put this in there. And then if this number is greater than some other number, I know it's wrong or it's right, right? That is not the level of understanding you want to get to. You want to get to the point where you can solve exercises like this in different ways, from different sides, different perspectives. And when you can do that, you find yourself armed with information and knowledge that allows you to solve all kinds of different exercises. Okay, so that kind of developing that curiosity and self-confidence that you can give it a shot is exactly what we want to do here at the MathMinds project, and you should be doing in general. Okay, excellent. Thank you, both of you. And let's move on so that we don't keep you, in here any longer than I said I would. I do tend to be a little on the long-winded side. So okay, so math matters, but you're not a math person. At least you don't think so. At least that's what you tell yourself. Can you improve? 1,000% you can improve. Okay, so let me just talk for a couple of minutes. People who say they're not math people, right? Don't buy into that. If you say you're not a math person, let me show you 8 things, and I don't want to go and dive into all of them, okay? 8 different things that could be part of the reason as to why you're not good at math today as a college student, right? You didn't see the value. No one told you you needed this stuff later, so you just didn't invest the time, right? Okay, fine. You're honest with yourself. You didn't make the time for it. For example, I could have learned Polish more than I did in my 8 years in Poland. It's not because I can't learn languages. It's because I didn't invest the time, because I didn't see the value in it. I knew enough to get by, and that was good enough. Okay, I'm not, so that might be what you say to yourself when it comes to math today. You also may have had bad teachers in elementary school or middle school, right? That happens. Unfortunately, there's too many school systems around the country that have gone down in quality when it comes to math education. There's also a big social injustice issue to all this, right? The fact of the matter is there are parts of this country where the access to STEM education is just not as good, right? And unfortunately, we see that playing out a lot, more so in Black and brown neighborhoods. And not only, but that's just one example. There's many other examples like that. So there's just an injustice that comes with that. You might just recognize you're not disciplined. You're not a disciplined person, and that's something you need to work on. You also may not have parents who prioritize math when you were young. You might have had social pressures like math is not cool, math is for geeky people, so I don't want to spend time on that, right? I don't want to be seen as part of the nerd group, right? You may have had no access to tutors along the way, so you needed extra help, but just simply couldn't afford it. Maybe there were no tutors available to you. Or you might be honest with yourself and say, hey, I took the easy way out. I used my calculator as much as I could. you know, and I just got by basically, and I was able to get by for a period of time, and then at some point it didn't work out for me too well any longer. So these are all different reasons why people might today as adults not be good at math, and those are all things you could change. And the first thing is, I want you to understand that math is like a foreign language. Okay, I just told you about Polish. I didn't get great at Polish. Math is a math language. Okay, so I always really liked math, and that helped me, and that just kind of got me ahead of the curve starting from very young. But that's just my experience, right? If I had to learn Polish, I guarantee you, as I sit here on this call, I would turn myself into a A+ Polish speaker. Okay, so you know, you need to treat math like a foreign language, right? And like any foreign or any language, it's use it or lose it. Secondly, this requires discipline, right? And I kind of relate this to training the core, right? So if any of you are sports people on the call, like I'm into sports, most recently triathlon, running marathons and things like that, okay? I'm not as good a runner as I can be because I have a weak core. I never like training my core. I don't plank well. I'm not good with my abdominals. I'm a great runner, but I'd be an even better runner if I had a strong core. You being good at math requires that you have the core skills, and the core skills in math are really the simple things. They're the things you learn when you're like 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years old. But it's been so long that we just kind of don't focus on it anymore, or we use our calculator to get it done, right? But it goes beyond the core, because to be exceptionally math literate, there's one more very important ingredient: pushing your boundaries. Being very math literate and just being really good with numbers starts with learning to creatively problem solve, right? And being a good problem solver, it starts with getting off the path of least resistance. Our brain, our body is trained to look for the path of least resistance, and breaking that habit, breaking that sort of brain function that sort of drives you in that direction, is what helps you build different neural pathways to help you be able to look at exercises in different ways, which builds your numerical literacy beyond ways that maybe some of you can imagine right now. Okay, so that's really the message that we want to send to you with respect to why math is important, and the fact that no matter who you are at any point in your life right now, wherever you're at, you can be better at math. You can actually get it done. And we gave you a few ideas as to how you can do it. And now I'm going to give Michelle a few minutes to introduce you to what we're doing here with the MathMinds project. Okay, so Michelle, and let me just introduce Michelle to you. Michelle is a recent graduate of Brooklyn College. Michelle Hess graduated May of 2020 from Kopelman Business School. She was my student in 2 of my courses, and she was interested in what was going on here with MathMinds project, and started helping me out in the summer, and was very involved with kind of getting this off the ground in the fall. And she continues to this day to be a big part of what we're doing. So Michelle, I will hand it over to you, and I will just advance the stuff, in a natural way. Okay, advance the slides for you. You want to unmute yourself? There you go.
I'm here. Hello. Okay, so thanks everybody for being here today. So this is the MathMinds project, recognizing the absolute value in thinking mathematically. So what is this project? What we do is help students to think more mathematically. So by doing that, students are able to improve their numerical literacy skills and problem solving skills that you'll need in classes, career, what have you. How we do that. So with guidance and support from the MathMinds leadership team and Professor Globerman, we focus on trying to facilitate peer-to-peer engagement in these meetings so that students can help each other build math skills through solving exercises independently and through helping each other solve exercises. So MathMinds isn't your traditional program. It's not a club. It's something that exists solely for the purpose of helping students to become more, you know, helping them to improve their numerical literacy skills. So basically, this means that by coming to these meetings, it's only so that you can help yourself and help others. So our goal is just to help students become better in school, work, and career, or life.
Excellent.
You may advance the slide. I feel kind of strange and nervous. I haven't done this in a while. I feel a bit rusty. So thanks everyone for bearing with me.
Okay.
All right. So
Go ahead, Michelle.
Oh, thank you. So what's the value proposition of this project? Well, the point is so that students can get the extra push they need to improve their skills in classes, you know, to succeed in class and career. The reason why this is so important, especially now with the pandemic, is that I remember in my classes, I used to interact, you know, ask questions to my classmates, and that helped me get through a lot of classes like corporate finance, things that I wasn't innately good at. So what this program tries to do is to encourage students to have that platform where they can, you know, ask each other questions, help each other out in a safe environment where you don't have to be afraid of being judged or what have you, because we're all here for the same purpose. And by joining, you know, you get the opportunity to help yourself and others. MathMinds isn't just about math, which is one of the things I also love about it, because I'm, you know, a business major, what have you. So what's especially useful about this program is that the topics involved are focused on things that we actually need to use in life. For example, Excel skills. We also hope to build out what we're doing further beyond just Excel and start working in topics like Salesforce, Python, Tableau, and Power BI, considering that these are all things that, you know, can be valuable in your business career. So our fall 2020 Brooklyn College pilot was a success. So last semester, we successfully gained over 200 student registrants just from Brooklyn College alone. So that's tremendous, especially considering it was during a pandemic. So we thank you all for, you know, coming back who've already joined, and thanks to those who are brand new. So now our goal is to expand MathMinds to all of CUNY. This is one of our big goals this semester, to try to just extend the program to as many students as possible through having weekly meetings every Tuesday, roughly 90 minutes. It's going to be rotating times too, between 12:30 and 6 p.m. to try to better, you know, engage students for if they have classes during the day or work or what have you. And then these sessions will be recorded so that you're able to go back and review them later. Also, you can join from any device. However, as you've seen some students do, touchscreen capability is a plus, so that you're able to join in and essentially, you know, just facilitate a more, facilitate better ability to like interact with one another through just directly writing. So if you have it, by all means join with the touch screen, and all math skill levels are encouraged to join. Doesn't matter if you're advanced, a beginner, want just some refreshment. The whole point is for a group of diverse individuals to come together to help each other become better. And most importantly, it is free to participate, so you don't have to worry about, you know, any registration fees, what have you, because the whole goal is just to have a platform for communication to help everyone involved improve numerical literacy skills. Okay, so each week, registered MathMinds and athletes will receive a themed math mission to complete on their own. So through doing this, each student will attempt to solve the mission's exercises and bring their solutions to the next group meeting. By doing this, you'll be encouraged to share solutions during the meeting, and then the our MathMinds mentors will be there for guidance, help, what have you. These exercises will be sent to all the registered members a week in advance so that you have time to go over the exercises and do whatever you can. And always, feel free to reach out if you have any questions prior to the meeting. Whether or not you complete the particular exercises, everyone is highly encouraged to participate, because each live meeting, you're able to learn from one another, as evidenced in today's meeting. So whether or not you complete the work, please still join in. You can always ask questions then. All right, so are you
Thank
ready
you,
to join the
Michelle.
MathMinds meeting, MathMinds project?
Thank you, Michelle. That was a great overview of what we've done and what we're doing. So thanks for taking everybody through that. So you guys ready to do this? I hope you're ready to do this. I hope you're feeling encouraged. Keep in mind that, we recognize from our experience that one of the challenges with this topic is that the variance of skill level can be so broad that you can easily have exercises that seem too hard for some people, so they get discouraged and kind of drop it, or even too easy for other people and they get discouraged because it's like, well, this is boring and easy. Why am I bothering, right? So one of our big challenges is to make this as palatable and interesting and value creating to all of you, or as many of you as we can. Okay. And the way we do that, by the way, is I want to just speaking to both of those sides of the spectrum. If you're really struggling with math, I hope that we convinced you that you can actually make a difference there. That with repetition, with investment in time, you can get better. Just like if you can't run, you start running, down the block, then you're running a quarter mile, then it's a mile. I mean, when I first started running marathons, I never thought I'd be able to run a marathon. Or first started running, I never thought I'd be able to run a marathon. Same thing goes with developing your core. It's no different with developing your math core, okay? And on the other side, so if you are struggling with the exercises, it should not mean you don't come to the meeting. We're going to give you, as Michelle said, we're going to present you these exercises in advance. That means you can spend all the time you want working on it. You can get help from friends. You can get help from a Google search. You can get help wherever you need it in order to sort of like work it through. Now, these are not meant to take hours and hours and hours, but you'll have several days to kind of come back to it. And if you're really good at math, trust me when I say this, you could think you're really good at math, and you probably are, but you can always get better. And one of the ways you get better is by challenging yourself to explain to people who understand it not as good as you do, how you got what you got. That is not easy. It is not easy. Trust me, it is not easy. That's the next level of knowledge that you build. Can you take your math knowledge and instill that into other people? Make it clear for them. It's going to help you in your career, because you're going to be standing up there as a data engineer, an AI specialist, an analyst, whatever you end up being. And you have to give presentations to people who may not be as math literate as you are. Okay. That's what you take out of our meetings. Okay. So how do you join our meetings? Well, the first step, you've accomplished it. Congratulations. You have the meeting credentials. These meeting credentials from today will be the same meeting credentials we use every single Tuesday until May 4th. So there's nothing you need to do there. But there is one thing I ask you to do. Most of you are new to the MathMinds project. Only a few of you are from the fall semester. We have a fun math challenge that we ask everyone when they get started with us to actually accomplish. Now, Michelle, if you could please put that link in the chat box, or if you can just try to pull it up in the next few minutes. Michelle will put the link in the chat box, and you could then use that link to go and do this 30-minute math challenge. Okay. And if you don't get it right now, if you can't get the link right now, Michelle will put it into our email tomorrow. Okay. So you'll be able to go and do the challenge. So we ask you to do that challenge, and then just join us. Join us next Tuesday. We're going to meet again next Tuesday at 6. And then the next week after that, we're going to switch it up to 12:30. Okay. Now, let me finally, to end today, before we take any questions, let me give you a little preview as to what mission number 1 looks like. Now, we're calling this one Ode to Kitchen Nightmares. Now, who knows what Kitchen Nightmares is? Anybody know Kitchen Nightmares? Anybody? Raise your...
Yeah, isn't it that really, really good show with Gordon Ramsay, and it's hilarious, and he goes into different kitchens and just basically just tells all the chefs that they suck?
That was Zachary, right? Was that Zachary?
Yeah. What's going on?
That's it. All right. Yes, Zach has it right. That is a Gordon Ramsay reality TV program where Gordon Ramsay does pretty much what Zach said, right? So now we're calling this Ode to Kitchen Nightmares because what I have done, especially for you guys, is come up with a mission of math exercises that all apply to the restaurant industry. So we're going to try something different. We're not going to do math separated by like algebra and geometry and arithmetic and blah, 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 which is pretty much how I've been teaching math my whole life in different ways. We're going to teach math. We're going to celebrate math in a new and different way. Okay. So we've already got mission 1 just about ready to go. And every one of the challenges in that mission are related to the restaurant industry. Now, out of curiosity, raise your hand in the chat box if you have ever worked in a restaurant or work in a restaurant now. I'm just curious who works in a restaurant or ever worked in a restaurant. Just, raise your hand if you can in the chat box. Kevin, I know Michelle also is another. Anybody else? All right. Well, some of you may, Rong Ling as well.
No, it's related to restaurant.
There you go. So if you've worked around restaurants, you'll be able to relate to a lot of this stuff. Okay. So it's a lot of fun. Trust me. You're going to enjoy this mission, and you will get, thank you, Jessica. You will get these 8 math challenges as a PDF emailed tomorrow, first part of the day. You can look out for an email from Michelle. She'll be, it'll be coming from Michelle at brooklynnobrainer.com. And she will email you the math challenge as well as the link to the Google Math Challenge. Sorry to use the word twice there, the phrase twice, math challenge. We have our initial math challenge and then this first PDF math challenge. But you're not going to turn in your answers, right? We're not grading you. That's not the point. What you're going to do is you're going to show up next Tuesday and we're going to go through them. And you're going to have a chance to speak up and present your solution. Okay. So we hope that some of you will be willing and ready and able to do that, just like we did today. Okay. And then we'll have, of course, our math mentors and myself will all be here to backstop you and help you out. Now, these are not exercises meant to be done in 60 seconds. So do not struggle. If you do not know right away how to do it, that's okay. Sometimes you want to step away and come back later and think, they are meant to kind of prod your curiosity a little bit. You'll see the exercises and you'll know where I'm getting at when you actually take a look at them. Okay. Yeah, join us next Tuesday where I'm really looking forward to seeing these solutions. I This one, I personally created all these exercises myself. So I'm very excited to see how you guys approach them. And yeah, I can't wait. I'm ready for next Tuesday already. So with that in mind, let's give you guys a chance to ask any questions you might have. If you want to jump in, go right ahead with any questions.
Can I ask a question?
Sure. Who's this? Just say your first name if you don't mind.
Lily.
Oh, hey Lily. Okay.
Okay, so so when we had that previous question to plug it back in, I got that part, but when it came to like the 0.5, I wasn't sure, do we do 0.5 times 40?
Yes. 0.5.
Okay.
Yeah, 0.5 is like half, and half of 40 is 20. And 20 was one of the dollar amounts for the friend that ate half as much as you did. That's right.
So when you do 0.5 times by 20, or you do 0.5 times by 40?
0.5 times 40. Did I say 20?
Which
I'm
is
sorry.
20.
0.5 times 40 gives you 20.
Got it. Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Any other questions or comments?
Yeah, I got a question.
Okay, who's this?
Yaroslav.
Yaroslav, okay.
Yeah, so where does this course take us? MathMinds, exactly.
Oh, interesting. So first of all, it's not a course, right? It's not a course. So it's not
Right, sorry about
not a
that.
class. It's okay. It's, it is. So, Yaroslav, are you into any sports? Do you play any sports?
I used to in high school, not now.
What'd you play?
I played football.
Like
freshman year.
soccer football or American football?
Oh, American football.
Okay. So when you were training for American football, right?
Mhm.
You probably, what position did you play?
I played wide receiver.
Okay, so obviously you worked on catching balls, right? Obviously catching, running patterns, right? Running patterns, catching ball,
Mostly-
right?
Yeah.
Okay, those are like, so that's what so that on game day you can be better, right? So, in that instance, imagine if we were helping you at that time as a trainer, and I was helping you with foot coordination, right? Foot coordination to help you with your lateral foot coordination, help you with your balance, right? Right? We would be helping you with fundamental skills that will make you better on game day, right? So even if it wasn't a course, right? I might work with you as a trainer, and the goal there would be to get your foot balance improved so that you can perform better on game day. Well, here we're training you to improve your performance in all of your courses right now at Brooklyn College or Baruch or wherever you're going. And then also, and if you're not a student, that's okay. We'll help you improve your math skills as they apply to your professional life or even your personal life. So where this is going is simply to raise your numerical literacy overall across the board, improve your problem solving skills. This is not about getting a grade. We're not giving grades out or anything like that. There's no certificates, though I do think certificates are great, but we're not doing that at the moment. So you just want to keep coming so that you get better with your numerical literacy. And if your numerical literacy is already good, we want you to get better at explaining math to other people. Okay? Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense. Thank you very much, Ken.
You're welcome. All right. Any other questions?
Yes, I have question.
Okay, who's that?
Amir.
Amir. Okay, great. Go ahead.
I just opened that link that Michelle was sharing us. I registered to the link, so we're supposed to get another email for the approval email or something, because I didn't receive it, and just mention here we have sent you the link, but I didn't receive it.
For the Zoom room Are we for the
No,
Zoom?
for this link for the what's
Oh,
called
for
math
the
mini, yeah,
for the
math quiz. Yeah.
the math quiz.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't, Michelle, can you help out Amir with that? I'm not sure procedurally what the issue is. I don't have an answer right off the top of my bat. I can tell you that whenever you're looking for a link from a site like Quillgo, check your junk mail. Check your junk mail or give it some time. Okay. Sometimes that's an issue, but I didn't. Oh yeah, I think you do need to. Michelle, can you jump in here?
Yep. Yeah, so I'm looking at it right now. I just, okay, so I just
Yes,
sent,
I got it now.
oh, you got it now? Okay, yeah, so
Yeah,
I was
thank you
testing
so much.
Awesome.
too.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, perfect. It's
Okay,
working.
Thank you.
Lily has a question in the chat box, and this is a good one. How can we let others know to join? I love that question because the most important thing now is helping us spread the word, right? We're doing this all virtual. We can't put flyers up on campus. We're not paying for advertising, right? So you guys are our loudspeakers. You're our megaphones, right? So all you need to do is tell your fellow students about what we're doing. Let them know. Michelle, maybe you want to send the flyer. We'll just adjust it for adjust the flyer and send the flyer out to everyone who participated. And then guys, you know, paste that flyer in your you know, send them by email to your fellow students in your student groups. If you're involved with a student club, let them know that way. If your professor might be interested in helping us, let her or him know, right? If you have a WhatsApp chat or a Slack chat with your course and or even maybe even via Blackboard, just let students know. The only thing they need to do to join us is start by registering through the Zoom link, right? There's that one link, and maybe Michelle, you can put the Zoom registration link into the chat box so that people have that firsthand as well, okay? Just let them know. So I hope that helps, Lily, but help us, you know, help us get more people involved. This is all online, so it's totally scalable. You know, we can put a 1 in front of the number of people here. I wouldn't mind. Oh, actually, I think I have a 100-person limit. I take that back. So as long as we're at 100 people or less, we're all good.
Can I ask a question? Right now, all the communities know, like if I told someone in Kingsborough, does that person know?
No, because they don't know because we haven't promoted it yet across the various CUNY campuses. We are going one by one, and we're trying to first engage with the administration. But frankly speaking, anyone can join. We're not going to hold people back from joining. So if you want to tell your friends at Kingsborough about this, or Queens College, or wherever, it's not a problem. We have already spoken to College of Staten Island and Baruch and CCNY. So we're in conversations with those schools, but you know, the wheels of academia don't move quickly. So in the meantime, as that happens, even it doesn't matter. We're happy to take anybody from CUNY. So please just share the link, no problem. They wouldn't have heard about it, no.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Are you guys like jazzed up to see the mission? I hope you are. Ready to come back next week?
Hell yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, for sure.
excellent. All right.
I have one question.
Oh, go ahead. Who's that?
Ron Ling.
Oh, okay, Ron Ling, yes.
Well, are we still meeting at the same time around 6 every Tuesday?
I know we're gonna try next week. We'll meet on 6 o'clock, but we're gonna experiment with also 12:30. If we find out that most students prefer the evening, then we'll stick with the evening, but we're still experimenting with the time. So as far as next week go, it'll be 6 o'clock, but the week after that, we're gonna try lunchtime. And if we find that no one can come at lunchtime, then we're gonna switch back So does that make sense? So the plan is to alternate, but if one time slot ends up not working, we're gonna drop it.
Oh, so after the next week, and then we'll be switched to the lunchtime.
Yeah, just for 1 week and then back to 6 o'clock. We're gonna try to alternate. Like 1 week, 6 o'clock, 1 week, 12:30, 1 week, 6 o'clock, 1 week, 12:30.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Is there a possibility to I mean, I know, I don't know how many missed this is. I know you mentioned it. I forgot. I'm sorry. To not get it the same time as the other clubs, because I don't want to miss out and be in a different club during that time.
Oh, you mean because 12:30 is like the common hour for clubs? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, it is the common hour for a lot of clubs.
But
Yeah,
is that what you mean? Because other clubs run meetings at Tuesday at 12 at that time? Is that what you mean?
exactly. Yeah.
I see. I have no problem making the meetings at 6 o'clock all the time. So I'll tell you what, this is a matter of, again, being an entrepreneur myself, it's all about what resonates. So just let us know, write us an email, say, hey, we can't do 12:30. How would it, could we stick to 6 o'clock, So I don't have an answer for you. We're going to do 6 o'clock next week. And then maybe if we find that 12:30 is not going to work, we'll stick with 6 o'clock for the rest of the semester. So why don't you just hold off on that one for now, and let's see. But you're always welcome to write Michelle and kind of let her know what's going on as far as your thoughts are on scheduling.
Can we have the emails to write to, and also how do we get the recordings?
Yes. So the emails to write to, oh, they're not here. Well, this email goes to me, mathminds@brooklynnobrainer.com. But if you also, instead of the MathMinds, you can get me by just inserting my first name, Ken, and you can get Michelle by inserting her first name, Michelle, Michele. You can also reach me at my Brooklyn College email address, which is ken.globerman@brooklyn.cuny.edu. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions? All right. Well, this was great. I'm going to
And,
stop.
sorry.
Go ahead.
In order to get the recordings, we should email you?
Oh, sorry. There was a question about the recording. Yes, and I didn't answer that. So we'll have a link to the recording. We should have it by tomorrow. The recording. We'll have a link for you to go to watch the recording. Okay. It'll be
Awesome.
sent.
Thank you so much.
It'll be sent by email.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Professor. Have a great day.
You're welcome, Amir.
Thank
I think
you.
that was Amir.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Mila. Thanks, guys, for coming, and thank you for linking and to Michelle for your participation today, and for the students who also participated in answering some of the questions. Look out for Michelle's email tomorrow, and we'll see you next Tuesday at 6 o'clock. Okay. Meanwhile, be safe. Good luck with your classes at school, and I look forward to seeing you again. Please tell your friends about MathMinds Project. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.